Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that the well your family has depended on for generations has gone dry. No warning, no alternative, no government tanker arriving with emergency supplies. Just empty buckets, cracked earth, and a growing sense of fear. For billions of people, water is something that flows from a tap. It is easy to forget, easy to waste, and rarely questioned. But for many rural communities across the world, water has become the most valuable resource on Earth. The 21st century is witnessing a crisis that experts have warned about for decades. Climate change, population growth, groundwater depletion, industrial expansion, and poor governance are pushing freshwater systems to their limits. According to United Nations, nearly half of the world's population experiences severe water scarcity for at least part of the year. Millions of rural families are already living on the front line of this crisis. But there is another side to the story. As water becomes scarce, communities, villages, provinces, and even nations are increasingly finding themselves in conflict over access to rivers, lakes, reservoirs, and underground aquifers. These are the hidden conflicts of the modern era. Not wars fought with tanks and missiles. Wars fought over wells, canals, dams, and disappearing rivers. And unless solutions emerge quickly, these conflicts may define the future of human survival. Only about 2.5% of Earth's water is fresh water. Even more surprising, less than 1% is easily accessible for human use. For thousands of years, this limited supply was enough because populations were smaller and climates were relatively stable. Today, the situation is dramatically different. The global population has surpassed 8 billion people. Agriculture consumes roughly 70% of freshwater withdrawals worldwide. Industry and urban growth demand more water every year. At the same time, climate change is disrupting rainfall patterns that communities have relied upon for generations. Scientists are observing longer droughts, more extreme heat waves, shrinking glaciers, and unpredictable monsoon seasons. Many regions now experience months without significant rainfall, followed by intense storms that cause flooding rather than replenishing groundwater. The result is a dangerous imbalance. Demand is increasing, supply is becoming less reliable, and rural communities are often the first to suffer. When rivers shrink and rainfall decreases, communities turn underground. Groundwater stored beneath the earth acts like a hidden savings account. For decades, farmers around the world have relied on wells and pumps to support crops. But many regions are withdrawing groundwater far faster than nature can replace it. This process is known as groundwater depletion. In countries such as India, Pakistan, China, Iran, and parts of the United States, underground aquifers are declining at alarming rates. The consequences are severe. Wells that once provided water at shallow depths must be drilled deeper. Small farmers often cannot afford new drilling equipment. As wealthier landowners access deeper water reserves, poorer families are left behind. This creates economic inequality and social tension within rural communities. Entire villages have been forced to abandon traditional farming because groundwater levels drop beyond reach. What appears to be a local environmental issue often becomes a social and political crisis. Climate change is not creating water scarcity everywhere equally. Some regions are becoming wetter. Others are becoming dramatically drier. This unequal distribution is creating new tensions. A village that historically relied on predictable rainfall may suddenly face repeated droughts. Nearby communities may begin competing for the same shrinking water source. Farmers who once cooperated become rivals. Local disputes intensify. Traditional agreements break down. Researchers increasingly describe climate change as a threat multiplier. It may not directly cause conflict, but it worsens existing economic, ethnic, political, and social tensions. When people fear losing access to water, emotions rise quickly. Water is not a luxury. It is survival itself. And survival often drives desperate decisions. In many parts of the world, water disputes are no longer theoretical. They are happening now. Imagine two neighboring villages sharing a river for generations. Then a prolonged drought arrives. The river shrinks. Water flow decreases. Suddenly, both communities need more water than the river can provide. Farmers accuse each other of taking too much. Canals are blocked. Pumps are installed illegally. Local authorities struggle to maintain order. Small disagreements evolve into long-term hostility. In some regions, disputes have led to violent confrontations, destruction of irrigation infrastructure, and lasting social divisions. These conflicts rarely make international headlines, yet they affect millions of people. They represent the hidden face of the global water crisis. Perhaps the most overlooked consequence of water scarcity is migration. When agriculture fails, families lose income. When wells run dry, daily life becomes impossible. When livestock die, economic security disappears. Many rural residents have only one option: leave. Across the world, climate-related migration is increasing. People move from villages to towns, from towns to major cities, from one country to another. The pressure created by these movements can strain infrastructure, housing, healthcare systems, and job markets. Experts warn that future migration patterns may increasingly be driven by water availability. The world's next major migration crisis may not be caused by war alone. It may be caused by thirst. Water scarcity does not affect everyone equally. In many rural communities, women and girls are responsible for collecting water. As nearby water sources disappear, journeys become longer and more dangerous. Hours spent fetching water mean less time for education, employment, and family care. Children are affected as well. Unsafe water contributes to disease outbreaks. Poor sanitation increases health risks. Malnutrition becomes more common when crops fail. The water crisis is therefore not merely an environmental issue. It is a public health issue, an educational issue, a gender equality issue, and a human rights issue. When people think about water shortages, they often imagine thirsty communities. But the economic consequences extend far beyond drinking water. Agriculture suffers first. Crop yields decline. Food prices rise. Livestock production falls. Rural employment opportunities disappear. Industries dependent on water face operation challenges. Energy production can be disrupted. Transportation systems are affected when river levels decline. The global economy is deeply connected to water availability. A severe drought in one region can influence food prices and supply chains thousands of kilometers away. This means water scarcity is no longer a local issue. It is a global economic concern. For decades, experts debated whether future wars will be fought over water. Today, many believe the question is no longer whether water-related conflicts will occur, but how many. The term water wars does not always refer to military battles. Most water conflicts occur at local and regional levels. However, the strategic importance of freshwater is increasing rapidly. Countries sharing rivers face growing pressure to balance competing interests. Dam construction projects often generate controversy. Upstream communities control water flows that downstream communities depend upon. As scarcity grows, trust becomes more fragile. Diplomacy becomes more important. The challenge is clear. Water can become either a source of conflict or a foundation for cooperation. The choice depends on leadership, governance, and long-term planning. Despite the challenges, there are success stories. Around the world, communities are finding creative ways to adapt. Rainwater harvesting projects are restoring local supplies. Farmers are adopting drought-resistant crops. Watershed restoration programs are improving groundwater recharge. Community-led conservation initiatives are reducing waste. Some villages have revived traditional water management systems that existed long before modern infrastructure. These examples demonstrate an important lesson. The crisis is serious, but it is not hopeless. Human societies have adapted to environmental challenges throughout history. The question is whether adaptation can happen quickly enough. By 2050, the world will likely be home to nearly 10 billion people. Food production will need to increase. Water demand will continue growing. Climate pressures will intensify. The decisions made during the next 2 decades may determine whether water becomes a source of cooperation or conflict. Experts increasingly argue that water security should be treated as seriously as national security. Without reliable water supplies, economies struggle, governments face instability, communities fracture, human development stalls. The future of survival may depend less on technology alone and more on how societies manage shared resources. Because water is unique. There is no substitute. No alternative resource can replace it. Every person, every farm, every industry, and every ecosystem depend upon it. The world's water crisis is not a distant threat. It is unfolding right now. Beneath the headlines of politics, economics, and international conflicts lies a quieter struggle. A struggle over rivers, over wells, over disappearing groundwater, over the most basic requirement for life itself. Rural communities stand at the center of this challenge. They are experiencing the consequences first, but they will not be the last. The hidden conflicts emerging around water today may offer a glimpse into future awaiting much of the world. The question is not whether water will shape the future. It already is. The real question is whether humanity can learn to share a shrinking resource before scarcity turns neighbors into rivals, communities into battlegrounds, and survival into a privilege rather than a right. Because the next great conflict may not be about ideology. It may not be about territory. It may not even be about power. It may simply be about a glass of water.